Hi friends and welcome. We're going to just do a start today. I thought I'd include you in that. This is a 20 by 20, so it's a little, I think you're seeing most of it. Maybe not the very top, but we're not going to be up there anyway. So today my plan is to just get my scene sketched on and some of my values in. Don't know how far we'll go, but let me show you approximately what we're doing. This is a photo I shot years ago of a barn in Vermont. Don't know if I'll do exactly what we're seeing there. There's a little shed in the front, which is kind of odd. See, it's pushed over there in that angle. So I don't know how, I had this one too, which is a back view. So this has been brightened up. I painted it one other time pretty big. So starting to think ahead. I've got a show in December, a show usually in February, and then I did get a call the other day from an art center north of here, and I'm going to have about 25 paintings in my mind displayed for January and February. So, you know, thinking what I've got, what I might try to do before then. So Michael had a sale on canvases yesterday, so I stopped up. I got 4 of these 20 by 20s, and it's a deep canvas, so I won't have to frame it. All right, so again, I decided to just include you while I do my sketch, and this photo is not square, but that's okay, I think. You know, I think we can still get our proportions on here okay. You know, we can have more sky. I don't know at this point. A slight angle to the roof. I'm doing what I usually do and, you know, making some marks. It's not a very interesting sky, and we may change the tree line as we see it. So we'll use our brush to get these angles to transfer over. You know, if we don't get it right, we'll correct it. But you know me, I love barns and I love still lifes, so we may do, you know, some big still lifes. And this angle, when you're sketching, really should be the same as that. This barn, I just loved it when we turned around and went back to get some photos of it. Like I said, I did it one time on a fairly big 24 by 30, I think I did it one time. One thing that's very cool is it's got this cupola at the top. I love that. Painted out yesterday at a farm called Gorman Farm, south of here. It's a farm where they I think it's mostly volunteers run it, and they have tours. There were children coming by me when I painted. Pretty cute. So we're not in any hurry. We're just trying to get the sketch right today before we start. Yeah, if you live near Michael, you might go check them out and see if the sale's still going. They were 70% off. That's just great. Sorry if you can hear that mower across the street. And this cupola thing is up above the dormer. Yeah, they had somebody recommended me, and they looked at my website and liked my work, which was nice. And they want the work to look consistent, and she felt like my work did. I know there are artists that I know some that are always trying new things, and sometimes you see their work. I know what she's talking about, and sometimes it's like, oh, is that theirs? You know, they just jump around and do different things, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty straight. Checking angles. It slopes down just a little bit. Make us a center mark there. And it's got like a little weather vane on top. And I may refer to the other picture where I can see the front better for more details. That was fun painting out the other day. I hope you enjoyed that. You know, people see you and want to talk to you. I'm sorry if that bothers you. I said at one point I just kind of forgot I was recording and talked and talked. Oh, this is really unusual. Huh. I'm zooming in looking for details. Just realized I need to order some transparent red oxide. I love that color. I don't want to be without that. I'll be going on a trip in October with my one group. We go every year and we just paint the whole time, about 3 days. I love it. So I got to get me some paint before we go. Yeah, there's a, I don't even know what that is, and I don't know if it's necessary. It looks like there used to be another piece attached to the front of this. See that line there? Barns. Aren't they fun? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm tripping over you. Could tilt you up a little bit more. Actually, wait a minute. I'll crank you up a little bit, keep you keep you level, we'll just raise you up a little bit. Like I said, I realize you can't see the whole canvas, but you can see where I'm working, so. All right, so let's see what we got. Like I said, I'm going to switch to that other photo and look for the detail on the front of the barn. There's a window here. There's actually holes in the barn. Down on the very bottom here, there's a big opening. Yeah, this is like 4 windows across there. All right, thinking about that tree line. It can be whatever I want it to be, you know, if I feel I need it to be more interesting. I don't want to bring it over here. I want this sticking up out of it. I do know that. And then we've got a couple of silos. That begin about here. Now it could just be 1 even, you know, it doesn't have to be 2. If I use 2, the other one ends about there. Let me see how they compare in height to that barn. Top of it's about there. I've noticed as you travel that silos are interesting and different too. I think some areas dictate that. I don't know. When I grew up in this area, we had a lot of farms. Not so much now, sadly. You know, progress, right? Not in my opinion, but there's a street from me down south of me a little bit that is named after one of the girls I grew up with, and it was a farm. So now it's a road, and it's named after their, you know, has their name. This has like a check pattern, which I think is kind of fun. So they stick up out of there. There's a pole here. And then all this from here over is dark. It's inside. Hopefully I've chosen the right one. I looked through my photos, and there were some others I liked too. And then at the bottom part of it is like a wall. I don't know what that's about. I think that might even be a feeder, because I think there's, yeah, I'm seeing cows in there. So we might, you know, just suggest them. If we do, of course, it'd be just blocks of color, you know. We'll see. Those cows. Now there's even another little shed off to the end here. Which I wouldn't have to have. If I wanted to create more distance, I could eliminate that. Yeah, I'm going to think about that. You know, maybe I want it, maybe I don't. Now we got a lot of foreground. One thing this photo has, which is kind of nice, is some fencing. Or we can go to another photo that we have. I'll show you. I like the foreground in it. I like this foreground. So that's pretty nice, isn't it? We might do something like that. We could still do some fence post, darker, and then it lightens up toward the barns, and see, I kind of like that. I'm thinking that. So probably like one fence post sticking up. So we'll probably do something like that, I'm thinking. So this is the value sketch is what it is. That's all it is. Okay, through there I see the red barn. I see another little, wow, there's a lot going on. In this hole here, there's another little shed thing. Jeez. On every angle you look from, I mean, you see different things, of course. Yeah, I even like that back view a lot. That's when we drove around the back and shot that. That's pretty cool too, isn't it? So let me set this down so I can get away from it, and I'm going to check my sketch. So I don't have a lot of sky, which is good. And like I said, I do want that peeking up out of the sky. All right, let's look around a little bit before we go. This angle's up a little more than I have it. So let's check our angles. Like I said, this will be all trees. Put a little value in there where things are going to be. Kind of gives me a better idea of how the tree line will be in the photo. You know, these are sticking up out of the tree line. In the photo, they are pretty close to the height of that thing, which doesn't make any difference. That may not be what I want to do. This feels really substantial in my photo. I want to make sure it feels that way. Yeah, I'm thinking we may do that similar background to that other photo. I like that. Foregrounds are tricky. Sometimes they're really difficult to, you know, figure out what you want to do with them. You know, those, I don't know how I feel about them. Those are actually holes in the barn. Little windows here. That would go uphill because that angle is away from us. This is both of metal roofs. Excuse me. I didn't want, you know, to fill the whole canvas with a barn. I have some photos that look like that, and I didn't want a huge barn. Hopefully I don't regret that. Nothing wrong with that, and I see a lot of people do that. You know, the one photo where I shot it from behind, that would have pretty much filled the canvas, see? And maybe that would have been better, I don't know. You know, it's hard to judge, especially when you don't have color on it, and I'm getting away from it. All right, I'm going to think about this. I can always wipe it off and start over. Give me your input before I go any further. Do you like this scenario that I have, this composition? I realize it's hard to judge till it's painted, but you can kind of get an idea of, like I said, there'll be some cows here, and you can kind of get an idea of the composition. Like I said, kind of, I think, yeah, I'm going to ask for your input here. All right. I'll show you again. That's the one we're approximately working on. See, there's some cows in there. However, I'm not going to probably do that foreground. I'm probably going to do something like this. Darker to lighter, maybe even some suggestion of some flowers. I like that. So that would be the foreground. The other option is to pretty much fill the canvas with this angle, the back angle of the barn. Like I said, it's a 20 by 20. So what do you think? I'm gonna look at it for a while and decide if I like it before I put any paint on it. And all right, thank you. I spent about a half an hour doing that. And I don't, I could go on and add more values. The barn is red and darker. I could put a value over the whole thing. The trouble with doing that for me is I want this tone to show through. And if I block that in solidly, in kind of a mid value, I'm going to lose that pink and orange. The other option is red barn. You could tone this green, the complement to it. And that would be really nice too. And some people do that. All right. Catch me next time. We'll see if this sketch is still on or if I've changed my mind and I've gone bigger. Or suspenseful, right? Yeah. All right. Like and subscribe. Catch you next time.